surround myself with some good people and they could help me get through it and just focus on what I could do rather than what I couldn't. I've always had a footy in my hand. I slept with my footy for a couple of years, I think. Always been footy in my blood. I've done other sports, cricket, athletics, but as always, footy was the #1 priority for me. Dad played for Subi early on. Then he got picked up at, I think, 22 and went to Footscray. And spent a couple years over there. He played a pretty good debut over there. I think he kicked 8 goals on debut, which is pretty impressive. He's been a massive influence on me. From my very first Oz kick, I was always under the coaching of Kevin Sparks. Kevin Sparks was actually one of my dad's best mates, and they grew up playing footy together for Subi and they actually coached together at Subi. Kevin's been probably the biggest influencer aside from my parents and my family for footy. Probably from Sparks, the biggest thing is the selflessness, and always putting others ahead of you, and I think he's just driven that through me. Part of the bigger picture thing, you're only a piece of the puzzle.
His understanding of the game from a very young age, I reckon, stands him out. Just an outstanding kid who just wanted to play footy right the way through, you know. I mean, he's just, he was good, and you can see that he was a little bit, probably a little bit in front of some of the other kids, even from Auskick. Really well-mannered kid, respectful, you know, took things on board all the time, always trying to improve, and humble, really humble kid. So he's a beauty.
It was grand final day last year in the MCG in the Futures game. Just copped a little obnoxious cork, didn't think too much of it. Kept playing, it was all fine, and then flew back to Perth and then flew to Bali the next week, which was for surf and a bit of fun over there. And then it was part of my 1-week experience at the Eagles, and I was just walking across the oval one day and it just started throbbing and spasming, and I sat down and I was like, something's not quite right here. I spent 2 nights in hospital straight away just trying to control the swelling and just monitoring that. It's obviously the biggest year of your footy career so far. To miss out is pretty hard, and sort of just surround myself with some good people and they could help me get through it and just focus on what I could do rather than what I couldn't. My family, my mum and dad were probably the biggest thing for me, my biggest pillar. They were always just there, sort of helping me, just focusing on stuff I could do rather than what I couldn't do. And just when I was having hard times, they were always there to talk to. They were probably the biggest thing for me.
In all credit to him, he had a couple of rough days and stuff like that, and he basically then just went, do you know what, this is what I'm going to do, I can still do it, and he just put his head down, which is what he's been like as a kid. He's a tenacious, very determined young man. Started training with the Subi seniors again, and just building my load up, and been full training for probably the last 2 or 3 months, and got pretty close to playing a game at the end of the season, but the smarter thing was just not to play and focus on the combine. And full test of the combine, felt really happy with how it went. The body held up, and yeah, really good. So just building into the pre-season, some more strength and endurance to come. To be drafted would be everything come true. It's all I've ever wanted to do. I've always wanted to play footy. For it to happen would be amazing.